Welcome to After Dark at the Fixed Ops Roundtable, featuring Cheri and Ted Ings. This episode is brought to you by BG Products, partners beyond products. And now for your hosts, Ted Ings and Cheri.
Welcome to After Dark at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. And Ted, the girls just want to have fun tonight, right?
Absolutely.
For sure.
Look at the great lineup we have here tonight. We have our friend Christine Farnan is back with us. Welcome. Cheri Stevens from Quantum 5 is here. And Cheri, we got somebody else from Quantum 5 next to you guys.
We have Jean Ings. And I thought y'all were going to be twinning tonight, Ted, with the mullets.
We could easily have been, Cheri.
Like mother, like daughter.
That's right. So welcome my daughter Jean Ings from Quantum 5 also tonight. So Cheri, we got like 8 weeks to the show. Are we going to be able to pull this thing off and carry this on for another 2 months?
Man, I feel like we are preparing for this Back to the 80s event like it's tomorrow. So I think we're going to be A-okay. I know I'm excited. I've seen a lot of other people that are part of our Fixed Ops Roundtable family that are pretty excited. So I think it's going to be a great show.
And congratulations to you, Cheri, because I see you on every post everywhere. Okay. And it's just amazing. And Tony Owens, you were just with us earlier today. So Cheri, we're live tonight, I see.
We are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So like Tony here, make sure you're commenting down below and sharing the video tonight.
All right, cool. And the event is coming up, everybody. It's going to be about 8 weeks from now. It's in May, but you want to make sure you get your complimentary ticket now. We had a lot of announcements, a big one that came on today. Cheri, give us the dates again on the May event.
Yeah, so it's happening on May 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th. So it's another 4-day virtual event. And like Ted said, you can get your complimentary tickets now at fixedopsroundtable.com.
Everybody you see there on the banner, Ed Roberts, Tully Williams, they were with us today. Sarah Van Tyne played a big part in something that we'll release tomorrow. So we're excited about it. And again, bring your mullets, bring your hair, bring your 80s clothes, and all of that. So exciting stuff. Christine, the 80s seemed like just yesterday.
Oh, yes, just yesterday. They were just yesterday, Ted. Yes, they were.
But they were good times, right?
They were good times. They were back then. Life was a lot slower sometimes. It was slower. I think there were a lot of things back then that you could say that it really was a good time back then.
Yep. Sean Butler, good evening to you also. And Cheri, we thought we'd talk tonight about some of the things, the struggles that dealers go through, that we're living and we're all trying to work with and help. And you're a big integral part of that at Quantum, and before that, when you were over at Cox Automotive.
Yeah, I think this is sort of my element, really. I love not only just process improvement, but I've always been just really passionate about automotive. I think probably because there is so much opportunity, and yet we have some work to do still. So we're going to talk a little bit about that.
I like that. And I like the whole 80s theme underlying here. By the way, Cheri, you're going to have some trivia for us coming up tonight in the show, right?
Oh, yes. We're going to play a little trivia. So hopefully everybody on here, I know Jean's got it in the bag. It'll be fine.
Just pull from your memory, Jean.
That's what I'll do.
Jean's got actually access to a lot of stuff. She was asking me before the show, Cheri. She was getting ready. She was asking me about some musicians and what decade they were in and whether this would apply. So I know she's been prepping. So
prepping's a loose term, Dad.
I guess it is. So
Gene, I haven't prepped, and I can't. I'm not very good with music, so we'll see.
Really, but share with everybody. You have told me that in a time not far away, you were a dancer as well, Christine.
I was. Yes, I was. Back in the late 70s into the mid 80s, I did after high school, then in college, I did a lot of dance and a lot of competition. I did some disco, some Latin hustle, some salsa, some different types of dancing. And I competed for a long time. And won a lot of different contests. I never wore my hair like this,
Okay.
but I never did.
Not unless you're in a hairband.
And it was great. Back in the times when, Saturday Night Fever was big, and, all the different shows. And it was a pretty intense time back then. It was a lot of fun.
So
Dan Stockel in the chat. Dan, we need a dance competition. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
we need a dance contest, but with Christine on our TikTok. Is that what I'm hearing, Christine?
We could do that.
Duet.
Sandy on there too.
I mean,
Sandy is really good.
Sounds like a good idea.
Sandy is really good too. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Oh yeah.
So, but no, that's what I did back in the early '80s when I was in college, and I did that. So it was great.
All right, and I see Roger Conant's got a tale for us. You're at Bush Airport in Houston, Kara. Okay, lost his wife's bag. Oh my gosh! All right, don't worry about it. It'll all be okay, Roger. All right.
Good vibes to you, Roger.
The seat. Oh, wow.
So, Kara, Roger's been alone like for the last week or 10 days. His wife's been away in Seattle. So I don't know what Roger's been doing, but it's been hard to reach him sometimes. So he's just resurfacing now. So we'll see.
All right, Roger. Well, I hope you find your missing bag and your AirPod that you dropped.
Oh my goodness.
Cheri, any interesting musical or dance things of note to speak of for you?
Some music? No, I don't have any dance skills necessarily, but I'm pretty impressed with your history. I don't know that that's my repertoire.
All right. So, Cheri, you got involved in the auto business. How'd that come about?
Accidentally. I think most people probably can relate to that. Just stumbled in my very early 20s, late teens, to a dealership, and was likely looking for, receptionist, office job, no experience in this sort of thing. And just so happened to get grabbed up by a used car manager, and that's where it all began. So, I had great experiences with my onboarding and training, which isn't something we can always say in automotive for sure. And I think that really set me off to a good start for fixed operations, which came later. So
you did work in dealership for some time.
Oh yeah. Probably 75% of my career. So I've been in automotive about almost 20 years now. So I've been in the vendor side probably about 4 or 5 years. So,
and we're hearing a lot more about the onboarding process, how important that is. Last week we had a conversation about that, and Quantum deals with a lot of that as well.
Oh yes, that's really our I don't want to say our only area of expertise, but that certainly is our big focus. Definitely, I think my favorite thing about Quantum so far, just speaking, candidly, is their training is so different than anything I've been exposed to in all the years of automotive. And I think it's right on time right now. It's very customer centric, teaching people how to deal with people, which is something, as we've sort of hired anybody that, as we say, will fog a mirror. We just had staffing needs, so we're hiring anybody. We're really teaching these young people how to, interact with customers in a different way. So.
And Jean, do you play a part in that stuff that Quantum does?
I'd say I play at least a little bit of a part. I'm one of the script writers, so a lot of the content that we have going out is stuff that I wrote. And speaking a little bit of what you were saying, Cheri, about dealing with learning how to interact with customers and be more of a people person as well. I find myself learning things just from the content that I'm writing, where I'm like, oh, okay, well, how can I be a better person to interact with my friends or the people that I'm surrounded with? So it goes beyond bounds of just automotive. It's great.
It translates to a lot of things, the way we sort of look at things, doesn't it?
It sure does. Yeah.
Brendan O'Brien, you're right. Go Cheri and go Gene. Brendan, I've learned a lot from talking to Gene here in the last couple days. She's got great automotive experience. And Gene, you've got all the lingo down now, right? You got rooftops, MPIs. She's talking about all kinds of things. I'm great. Like, is that you?
I know. I can think back to like over a year ago when I just started and I was asking you like every other hour about like, oh, okay, well, what if this happened? Like, what does this mean? I had so many questions for you, and now I feel like I've got a good handle on it.
Ted, I have a question for you. Did you ever think that Gene would be sort of following in your footsteps and being in the automotive industry?
Absolutely not. No.
But somehow she just got sucked in. Imagine that.
My daughter was the little girl. Christine, the little girl, we would go to workshops. I would do. I remember a couple times we drove up to Toronto, right? We had big workshops and we had these, the paper, the flip charts. And my daughter, as a little girl, 3 years old, 4 years old, would get the Mr. Sketch markers, the colorful ones, right? And you would be coloring those on the floor before the workshop started with all these people in there. And you're like, playing with the markers and doing all that stuff. And anytime, Kara, I ever mentioned anything about automotive, her eyes got glazed over and it was just like not even a conversation.
She's like, Dad is too stressed. I don't want that life.
Absolutely. It kind of gets in your blood once you start it and you get into the business. Right. I wound up marrying someone that was in the business. I never thought I would do that, and it's just funny. It gets in your blood and there you are. So
for sure. I definitely did not think I was going to take to it. And now a year later, and I'm still very happily working with Quantum. I'm really excited to be here tonight and work with my dad and all of you wonderful ladies. So, you never know where life's going to take you. That's for sure.
Look at her. She's already a great facilitator.
I know she is.
Nice. Sounds great. See that? She's been listening.
I like that. We got a couple segments for you, Gene.
Right? Come on, Gene.
All right.
Christine, how did you get started? What was the story?
How did I get started? I got out of college and I wanted to get into sales. And I wound up, sending my resume, getting called. And I'm on the vendor side. So I hate to be called a vendor, but
I hate that too.
30 something years. But I started getting into the aftermarket products, dealing with protective coatings, vehicle service contracts. Went through the years of the Rusty Jones and I say that because that's back in the 80s, and a lot of people know that name. But I just wound up starting. I wound up taking my area for this company and building a territory for them, and then I branched out. Finally, went on my own. I started working as my own GA, and then I joined another agency, which I'm still with today. So I do a lot. I have some different companies that I work with, and it's been great. It's been 34 years. I'm aging myself, but 34 years that
Christine,
I've been out.
Do you know this person in the chat down below, Rebecca Chernick?
Do I know Rebecca Chernick?
Yeah.
She's not even saying hi to me. She's talking about Gene. Gene is a smart lady. We know that, Beth.
Thank you.
What about the Waffle House?
What about the Waffle House, Gene?
I haven't been to the Waffle House in a long, long time. We got to go back, though. I'm ready to go back.
We don't have any up here.
I haven't seen a single car at a Waffle House near me in so long.
Wow. There's none in Jersey, are there?
No, but she had and good evening, Martha. She had a Waffle House experience when I took her to Atlanta.
Oh, that's
Cheri,
what she's talking about.
And she saw the Savannah School of Art and Design in Atlanta. But the first stop we went from the airport, we had breakfast at the Waffle House. So.
How about that? The true Southern experience.
Absolutely. Yes.
We didn't feel too good after that, though.
I
bet. Hey, Sean, what do you mean disappointed? No way. All right, come on.
I'm disappointed too, Sean. You're supposed to have one on.
But I'll tell you what, Christine Farnan has been great, Cheri, at seeking out opportunities and seeing things ahead of their time. And I'm grateful to you, Christine, for all the relationships that you've introduced to me. A lot of good friends, such as Tom Rustino up there, our friend at the DePaula Auto Group. and just a whole lot of people in our industry.
Well, same here. You've introduced me to a lot of people as well, and we've been together for a while. And actually, I met you through Becky. No, actually, I called you before I met you. I think I called you on the phone once, and then all of a sudden I realized.
Did I answer?
Yes, you did.
Okay, all
A
right.
long time ago. Then I realized that you were with Becky doing a show, and then I went to the Fixed Ops, and that was in. What was the first one? Was in
2019.
Yeah, what was that? Was that Atlanta?
Oh, you went to the one in Atlanta. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
And then the Baltimore one. And yes. So I had met you at the one, and then I was at Becky's the second one. So
Christine, it's going to be hard to believe in May, towards the end of May, it's 4 years now that we started this Fixed Ops Roundtable.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Boy, that is a lot. It seems like it was just yesterday, sort of.
I see the note from Brendan O'Brien in there, and it was Becky who actually, pushed me. And I've told the story many times, but said, you got to use that office in Manhattan. You got to do something in there. And we did. And Jean, we blew it up. That was the office that you picked when you were a little girl, like 10 years earlier. We looked at all those offices on Park Avenue, and I said, which one is the best? She said, this one here.
I remember
Next
that.
thing she told you so. Yeah, little comment down there. Told you so.
Yep. And so we were in there the whole time. So, and Becky was saying you got to use it for something. So that's how this whole thing, if I didn't have that office, we probably wouldn't be here today doing this stuff. So,
I'm glad we picked it out.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of cars at the Waffle House in Florida. Okay. Sean and Tiffany Kingery, who are not in Florida now, right? By the way, but anyway, so Carol, what do you make of all this? You meet a lot of people here at the Fixed Ops Roundtable who are, intertwined in this business in different ways.
Yeah, it's so interesting to meet so many different diverse people in our industry. But, I will say we all have one thing in common, and that is to leave this industry better than we found it. And I think that's kind of the foundation that we all build off of. And when we think, positive thoughts like that, then we're all making a difference. And that's what we're doing here at the Fixed Ops Roundtable, and hopefully for many more years to come.
What about the struggles in a dealership? Because you've been living that, right? All the process things, and it's difficult to get something new going, and then have to maybe start all over again. I'm sure you could speak to that and stick with something.
So I definitely have went through many waves since I've been in the automotive industry, I feel like. And I think it's just human nature that we don't like change. Mm-hmm. I'm a little different. I love a good change up because I get bored easily. So I think a little differently. I am very young also. So I think it's nice to have a good mixture of a diverse group of people in these dealerships, because you kind of get all different mindsets coming together with one common goal, and you can kind of do some convincing and persuading, and there is some pushback when it comes to certain things, but at the end of the day, the industry is evolving, the world is evolving, technology is evolving, and if we don't keep up with it, then we're gonna be stuck standing still.
So better for women now in retail automotive than it was in the past, in the recent past, in the long-term past. Ladies, I'll put that out to all of you. What do you think?
I think so. I think so. I think, I don't think it's solved. I don't think it's totally cured, but I think that, if anything is evolving, I feel like that is going in the right direction for sure. So.
And I agree with Cheri on that. I mean, there's definitely becoming a lot more diversity. People are, having just more and more women. I mean, we have women techs. I mean, and a lot of the back end that people don't even realize. True. And they're good. So I mean, they're doing all these different jobs.
Yeah.
So.
I always look at women in automotive so differently, I feel like, from other women in the industry or other people in general, because I am still new in the business. I've only been around in automotive for close to 4 years now, and I've heard all the stereotypes and all these hardships that women went through, and I see it through such a different lens, I feel like, because I have had such great mentors and such a great surrounding in automotive since I've been in this industry, that I haven't struggled much. And I think that's the difference for somebody in my shoes versus, you know, somebody maybe 20 years ago, is that no matter the gender, no matter where you're at in the world, everybody finally woke up. Society woke up and said, hey, we need women in this industry. They have a great mindset. They have great work ethic. So by the time I stepped into the industry, it was already kind of there. And so I feel like I kind of just jumped on that springboard at the right time. So I don't have many negatives to say about being a woman in automotive. And I just choose to keep it that way, I guess.
Cheri, your thoughts? Because it's not that way in every place.
No, I definitely think that, like I said, I think that's something that is on the mend, and I feel like people are more aware. Not saying that men don't have value, certainly they do, but I think women have special knacks for being a little more orderly, having a little more empathy with customers, you know, attention to detail. So I think that works in our favor, especially in a service department.
Yeah, especially
Absolutely.
in service.
Yeah.
Tully, good evening. We see you there.
Hi, Tully.
And you know, there are a lot of great spokespeople now in fixed operations, more than ever before, I think, Cheri. And I think that's, you know, not just men, but women as well, yourself and the ladies here included.
Definitely.
I think that's a big part of it. You know, years ago, Ron Overs, that Fixed Ops magazine, maybe before he was the publisher, they would put on the cover, you know, a piece of machinery or a dealership. But in recent years, they started highlighting the people, the faces of people.
Yeah.
And that's how we met, you know, the Ed Roberts, the Sarah Van Tynes, and, you know, and so on and so forth. And I think the focus the last couple of years has been on the actual person.
Yeah, I think that especially when we have people like that who are in the limelight, it just sort of supercharges their enthusiasm for it too, and it propels their success even further. Especially when everybody's so supportive in this community, and Ted, I think you're a big part of that, and it's really doing wonders, I think, for the culture. And
this young lady here, Ellen, who is a parts manager at Jeff Schmidt in Ohio, has just come out as a superstar at the last event, Ellen, and congratulations to you, because we're so proud of everything that now the panels that you're on, all the things that we're doing. So, you know, a star is born. Jean, you've never worked in a dealership. Would you ever want to do that? I've never asked you that question. If you'd ever want to go work in a store.
You know, I feel like if you had asked me that a year ago, I would have said 100% no. I feel like now, even though I'm still more in my, like, you know, I'm a writer. That's what I like to do. That's my niche. But I think I'd be more open to, you know, stepping foot in a dealership, spending a couple days there, seeing what it's like to be.
So 98% no is what I'm hearing.
Now it's like a 98% no. I've met all these wonderful people. I'm like, all right, I could get behind it. I don't know if it's 100% for me, but you know what? I can't say never.
Yeah, it's you know, Kara, it's long, you know, it's very rewarding, but okay, it's got long hours, right? End of the month, you know, we all find ourselves there longer than we would expect. There's a lot of demands on retail, and you know, customers may come in and you're not there. You got to be there, and you know, you've lived all that, Kara, yourself.
It is definitely weighing for sure, but I also still have to think back on my past in retail automotive, and I feel like everything I learned being in a dealership, you know, I saw it. I had boots on the ground. I experienced it, not from the outside looking in. So I have a deeper appreciation for salespeople, their managers, F&I, parts, service, the technicians in the back, and just see how the whole ecosystem works together is unlike anything that you can see from the outside looking in.
Yep. And Tony, you're mentioning Kaylee Filio. Congratulations to Kaylee, right? She's had some big news she's announced over the weekend. So congratulations to her and her family. Christine, you and I have seen a lot of things. You've worked together with me in store, right? And we've identified people who are coming up that management need to look at, you know, as maybe a potential new service advisor. And management took our recommendations on that.
Absolutely. And you've done that, and you've been great with that. I mean, you did that at DePaula. You worked with with Tom and his service department, and you did recognize some people that were really, really good at what they were doing.
One of the things I recognized, though, at DePaula was that Tom gets in really early in the morning. He's in there like at 6:20 in the morning, right? 6:25.
I think so, because I think they have a meeting like at 6:45.
Yeah.
They have like a powwow meeting, like like a lot of the service departments do, but they have like a huddle.
And you remember he invited me to that first one. He said, meet me in the store. I said, what time? He said, be there by 6:30. And so I said to you, I better come early, right? And I think I was there like at 6 o'clock, inside waiting for him, right? So,
absolutely.
But I thought that, from the retail people, you're not going to get the respect if you don't come in at those hours and, they see that you're willing to put in the time as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I agree with you on that. I mean, we have to go in on the times and work those times with them, be in the trenches. I mean, I like doing the front end, but I'm also big on the back end. I just want to learn more and more and more about fixed ops. And I've learned a lot over the last several years, just kind of diving in more and more. But it's very exciting back there. There's a lot of opportunity, and there's a lot, and we talk about the processes and things. We need all that, but it's ongoing all the time. Ongoing.
All right. Christine and Cheri and Jean, are you ready to play some 80s trivia? And that goes for Sean Butler and Robert Miggs as well. Everybody else watching.
Jane, you can phone a friend. You've got your dad right there.
You may not want to. Karen knows my track record. It's not that good.
Phone a friend. I like that idea. Can I phone? Hello?
Hopefully they're not too hard today. I only have 3 trivia questions, and hopefully, if you guys don't know it, our audience will help us. So make sure you're commenting down below to help the ladies tonight. So here is our first one. Whose breakthrough hit was the 1983 single, Girls Just Want to Have Fun? And if you watched from the beginning of the show, I led right into this one.
Oh, should we just say who it is?
Yep, if you know the answer.
Cyndi Lauper.
I'm saying
there we go. Everybody's in consensus. It was Cyndi Lauper.
Oh, I guess I was wrong. I said Madonna.
No, you didn't.
No, and then that's right. When she said that, I was like, oh yeah, she was on the front. All right.
Did you know that one, Jean?
I knew it wasn't Madonna. I'll say that.
I'm like the one at the buzzard, click it real quick.
Here's number 2. What year did the song Total Eclipse of the Heart by Bonnie Tyler come out?
Oh my.
I'm just going to guess 1983.
I got to guess. Okay.
I concede. I guess too.
1981.
It's a great song.
You know, Ted?
I'm going to guess late, 88.
Ooh. Jean, way to go. It was 1983.
Oh my God.
Jean.
Did you study that one before?
No.
How many points does she have now? She has 2?
2 points.
2 points.
We're playing as a team, Christine.
Okay.
As a team.
Well, then I was going to see
So
what
competitive.
you win when you get all the points. Okay.
Okay, last one here. What group sang the song Walk Like an Egyptian?
Ooh.
Oh, I can hear the song in my brain.
Here, see, I don't know.
I'm going to say C.
I want to say
You guys
C
think
as
it's-
well.
I'm going to say C also, Christine.
All right, it was C. Everybody was getting it right in the comments. I just hit them because they're all getting it right.
Oh, look at that. Jeez, I should have been looking at the comments the first time out.
Right.
Yeah, right. Brent Marston C, yeah. Dan the Bengals, right? Yeah. Well.
Yep. Well, y'all did pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. It's not as fun.
Jean pulled our weight, so
There she goes. Yes, she did.
I'm surprised.
Robert's comment.
First girl in the video.
Biggs, I love him. Love Carter Myers. So, yeah, great job, everybody. Right, Ellen? Good job. So,
Thank you.
we had a big announcement today on social media. Kara, you shared that we're actually giving away something to a sponsor, right? Or a potential sponsor.
Yes, we are having a sponsorship sweepstakes, like we're calling it.
Okay.
And basically, you can win a complimentary sponsorship to one of the upcoming Fixed Ops Roundtables. So,
Wow.
first ever sponsorship giveaway that we've done here, but I think it's going to be pretty exciting. It's really easy to enter. It's all on social media. So if you go to our LinkedIn page, you can enter by following those 4 steps that you see on the screen. And we're going to run this event all the way through May 10th. And on May 11th, we will announce the winner.
Wow.
Nice.
What if I'm a current sponsor or a past sponsor?
It doesn't matter. It's open to everybody that's in automotive.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep.
So
Nice.
everybody should get in. Current
Yep.
sponsors, future sponsors, everyone, everybody. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Everyone's welcome.
I like it. And I know you're going to put a couple twists on it along the way. That'll make it even more fun. So
She's
Oh,
so
they're
fun.
You're going to get tired of me.
You got to answer more trivia to win.
Right? I might leave that out.
For the best.
all right. So everybody, we're very grateful tonight to Cheri Stevens, Christine Farnan, and Jean Ings for being here. Big event coming up in May. It is our Back to the 80s event. You're not going to want to miss it. If you don't have your tickets yet, fixedopsroundtable.com is where you get them. They're complimentary. I would recommend signing up. We've had a lot of signups already. So it's going to be a big event, everybody. 4 days. And the recordings, we're getting everything underway. The panels, it's amazing. There'll be a lot of talent on here, and we're grateful to everybody. And then some more big announcements coming in the next few weeks as well. So stay tuned. A lot of Fixed Ops Roundtable new stuff on the way. So
It's going to be very exciting. So hopefully everybody has their notifications turned on. They're following all of our pages on all platforms so that you don't miss a single thing leading up to Back to the 80s. Thank you all for watching tonight. Thank you, ladies, for being on the screen tonight. I love the hair. It made me feel better about mine. So we'll see everyone on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Thanks for watching.
Thank you. Bye.